Okay, welcome viewers, welcome back. Today we are going to be doing a review of some circles. Each of these problems is not hard in and of itself, but each one we have to remember the formulas because the formulas are not on a formula sheet. So, excuse me, we're going to work through each of these problems, and the answer is really not as important to me as remembering the formula. So we're going to kind of quickly go through them for America and for Justin Bieber. Okay, and for anyone that's reviewing for a retake or their test, this is a great video to watch. So we're starting with this one right here. When you get a diagram that looks like this, you're going to say, what do I even do again? Okay, it's the big intercepted arc minus the little one divided by 2 gives you the measure of the angle. So that is, where's my pen? 103 minus, is that 41? 41 divided by 2 gives us the measure of that angle. And I think the calculator will do that for us. Let's see. 103 minus, no, I have to put the division sign first. 103 minus 41 divided by 2. It did. Check my work too. I got 31. Did you guys get 31? Okay, excellent. Number 2, and stop me if you've got a question because we're not in a rush, we're reviewing. Number 2, we are trying to find the measure of this angle. It's not a central angle. It's not an inscribed angle. It's somewhere in the circle. To find that, we average these 2 arcs. To average, we add. In this problem, we took the 2 numbers and we subtracted them. However, this problem, we're going to take the 2 numbers and we're going to add them. So, 154 plus 96, 154, forget about that, plus 96 divided by 2, because we're averaging them, should give us the measure of that angle. So 154 plus 96 divided by 2 gives us, did you guys get 125? Yes? Okay, excellent. Faith, I'm upset I'm not going to be here next class because I put your pictures in those slides. I know it's going to be lit. Slide number 55. So the relationship between the measure of this angle on the straight line, which is 180, and the measure of the circle, which is twice as big, 360. The measure of this arc is twice as big as the measure of this angle. So what we have to do to find the measure of x is take 126 and divide it by 2. How are we doing so far? Did you guys have to look up how to do these problems? I see a lot of yawns. They're like, this is so exciting. Does anyone need to get up and do jumping jacks? We could do push-ups. We could do the pacer. Just push the desks out of the way and just, yeah. Okay, the second problem. This is an inscribed angle. The relationship between the measure of this angle on the other side of the circle and the measure of the arc is the same relationship. The arc is twice as big as this angle. However, we have to solve for that value of x. So what's half of 104? What's the measure of this angle going to equal? Half of 104 is the measure of this angle. So if that's 52 degrees, we're going to set 7x plus 10 equal to 52 and solve for the value of x that makes that statement true. And I don't have anywhere to write that, so I'm going to write 7x plus 10 equals 52. So we'll subtract 10 and then divide by 7. 52 if you subtract 10 from 52, you get 42. 6 times 7 is 42. Did you get 6 is the answer? Someone's checking my work. Did you guys get 6? I see one nod. We'll go with it. Excellent. All right, can we move on? Okay. Slide 56. Our arcs BE and CD congruent? Well, if the measure of the central angle, this is a central angle because the vertex is in the center of the circle. If all the phones should be away. The measure of this angle is the same as this one, we're about to find out, then these arcs will be congruent because they're on the same circle. They're not on different size circles. They're not on concentric circles. They're on the same circle. So how do we find the measure of this angle? Yeah, because this is a straight line. So that's 180. So this is 130. This one has to be 50 because 130 plus 50 is 180. So if this angle is 50 degrees, then these arcs CD and BE should be congruent. So they draw that 50 degrees on here. I'm going to put yes and explain your thinking. The arcs are across from central angles that, how do I write that? That are the same, that are equal. The angles are on the same circle. Because if we had two different circles, one large and one small, a 50-degree arc, I'm just like making stuff up now, here would not be congruent to an angle here. Even though the measure of the angle is, they would each be 50 degrees, they would be on different size circles, so these arcs would not be congruent. They wouldn't be the same shape and the same size. But if we had to write the measure of those arcs in degrees, then they would each be 50 degrees. All right, let me submit that. The other way, we haven't learned this yet, the other way to measure this distance is actually part of the circumference, which will be in the next unit, and we'll get to that. Right now we're just doing degrees. Okay, this problem is just like the one we just did. This is an inscribed angle, so therefore it's going to be half of the measure of this arc. This arc is 140, so this angle has to be half of that, 70. So we just set 2x plus 10 equal to 70 and solve. $70 minus 10 is 60. 60 divided by 2 is 30. Let's see if the computer likes that. Yay! How are we doing? I got 1 thumbs up. I got 2 thumbs up. All right, we're good. Is this the last slide? Yes. Okay. Problem number 1 on slide 58. This is a central angle, so the measure of the angle should be the same as the measure of the arc. So this arc is 138. I think the problem is asking for that. Problem number 1 first asks for arc CB, and that's 138 degrees. The reason that there's an A on this circle right here is because the second question is, what is the measure of arc CAB? And we have to write a major arc with 3 letters. That tells us which direction to go, and the 3 letters tells us it's greater than or 180 or greater. So the measure of this arc is the difference between 360 and 138, because the whole circle is 360. So it's just 360 minus 138, which is done. The last one, this angle is an inscribed angle, so it should be half of 112, which is, that's it. How do we do? America, I just want to document, you guys can't see this, but everyone is so excited to be here today. You guys are just full of joy to be here. All right, thanks for coming out.